My boyfriend lost control after a few drinks and slept with his childhood sweetheart. The moment I heard, I broke up with him, but he turned around, spiked my drink, and locked me up with his best friend. After that forced night, I staggered home to confront him. He lit a cigarette like it was nothing and said, "Stop the waterworks. You lost control too, didn't you? I'm dirty, but you're not innocent either. We're even." He exhaled smoke, cold smile curling. "Besides, damaged goods like you. Who else would want you? Even? No one would want me?" I dried my eyes and kissed his brother right in front of him. "Baby, from now on I'm yours." I slipped out early from Chase's birthday party, claiming I had somewhere to be. Planning a surprise return, I came back cradling his gift. Turns out he'd prepared a surprise for me too. Chase and Lindsay's moans leaked through the VIP lounge door. I stepped closer, unwilling to believe. Through the crack, I saw Lindsay panting beneath him. Worse, around Chase's neck glinted the thin platinum chain I'd given him for our 5th anniversary. It was now wound around Lindsay's playful fingers.
Crash.
Expressionless, I carried the keepsake box to the trash and slammed it in. Every friend of Chase in the lounge wore mockery and popcorn-eating grins. When they caught my face, they hurried to smooth things over. "Serena, what brings you back?" "Chase just had too much to drink. Don't be mad." I tuned them out, sat on the sofa, and called Chase. The ring lasted forever before his flustered voice answered. "Baby, everything okay? You home safe?" Lindsay's faint gasps still colored the background. "What are you doing?" I asked softly. A pause. "It's my birthday. Buddy won't let me leave the bottle." Still acting. I chuckled. "Chase, are you having fun right now?" Silence stretched, then frantic rustling. He burst through the door half-dressed, belt unbuckled. His eyes found me. "Serena!" He lunged and grabbed my arm. The reek of liquor mixed with Lindsay's perfume choked me. Fresh love bites on his collarbones stabbed my heart. "Let me explain. We'd both been drinking, it was a lapse." He tried to kiss me. I jerked away, staring past him at Lindsay, equally disheveled.
"Drunk?"
"You looked pretty sober while pulling your pants down." His panic flipped to irritation. "Serena, quit the drama. If you weren't so stubborn about no sex till marriage, would I have strayed?" Massaging his temples, he sighed. "Men slip up. Be reasonable. Once we're married, I'm all yours." Marriage, once my dream word, coming from him now, it made our 5 years a joke. "Break up." I steadied my voice, shaking. I wrenched free, nails raking a red welt down his forearm. "Serena, it's my birthday. Can't you act mature?" he roared behind me. I stormed into the corridor, the cold air no match for the nausea rising. Lindsay's voice floated after me. "Chase, she's gone. Let's finish what we started." A grunt from Chase answered. Before the elevator closed, a hand stopped it. I started to curse, then saw Pierce, not Chase. "You okay?" His voice was tight. I shook my head. "How long has this been going on?" Pierce's Adam's apple bobbed. He looked away.
"A year."
I laughed, ice cold. "Covering for him all this time? You're no better." He flinched, face draining, hand sliding off the door. The mirrored wall showed me biting my lip, eyes scarlet, as the elevator shut. Riding in the cab, unfamiliar scenery blurred past. My heart felt sliced by a dull blade. Chase had chased me hard. I'd finally said yes, on one condition: no sex before marriage. He'd squeezed my hand, tender and resigned. "Serena, I respect you. I'll wait as long as it takes." I'd almost yielded.
"Now."
I smiled bitterly, his devoted face and tonight's mocking one flickering like broken film. Once, a mild fever had him racing through storms for the right meds, clumsily cooking porridge, keeping vigil all night. His worry had been real, and now he could lie for Lindsay without blinking, then blame me, as if the unreasonable one had always been me. I checked into a random hotel, unable to face home. My phone buzzed. "Lindsay, since you found out, I'm done pretending. Chase will be mine. Did you know he says you're like a block of wood? I know how to make him happy. He just fell asleep calling my name. Who do you think he'll choose?" Attached, a selfie of Chase sleeping. Fury scalded my skull. I typed fast. "Every pot finds its lid. May you two last forever. Don't ever uncouple." I hurled the phone onto the bed and smothered my face with a pillow. Next morning, the doorbell dragged me up, eyes ringed in bruised blue. Chase stood outside. My emergency contact had ratted out the hotel. I tried to slam the door. He wedged his fingers in. "Are you hurt?" I cried at the sight of his swelling knuckles. He shook his head, the picture of contrition. Still clutching a cup of bubble tea, he rasped, "Serena, I messed up." It was one moment Lindsay came onto me. I spun, eyes boring into him. "Only yesterday." He hesitated, then nodded. Looking at him, this man who vowed forever, I felt the last shard of the illusion fall. "You lied again." I shook my head, voice flat. "We're done."
Leave.
"I will never believe a single word," he says again. He looked like a ghost as he held out the bubble tea to me. The same brand, the little shop across from our college. "Serena, your favorite." His voice was hoarse, almost begging. "I'm not asking for forgiveness, just let me do this one last nice thing for you, okay?" When I took the cup, the label still showed my usual flavor. Memories crept in before I could stop them. Every tiny fight we'd ever had. To make me smile, he'd drive across town even after graduation. He'd hand me the drink, eyes shining with adoration and apology. Maybe the memories tricked me. I sipped twice. When I looked up, Chase's face had changed. He sneered. "Serena, you're the one who pushed this far. Don't blame me." I tried to speak, but my throat wouldn't form a sentence. My limbs went limp and feverish, consciousness flickering. The world spun, dimmed. The last thing I saw was Chase's cold smirk, madness glittering in his eyes. I bolted upright, silk sheets sliding off. Ice-cold air hit my skin. I looked down and froze. Hickeys everywhere, silent proof of last night's loss of control. Blood roared in my ears. "You bastard, Chase, drugging me." Then I stared, disbelieving, at the figure stepping from the bathroom.
Not Chase.
His best friend, Pierce. A towel was all he wore, lean muscle on full display. He must have heard me move. Back rigid, lips pressed, he watched me. His normally cool face was a storm of guilt. His mouth opened, closed. "Ah!" I shrieked, shame and fury erupting. I snatched the bedside lamp and hurled it at his head. "Pierce, you're as filthy as Chase." "Liars, animals." My voice cracked. I tasted blood from biting my lip. He ducked. The lamp shattered against the wall. He didn't hit back, didn't explain, just stood there. Eyes full of pain I couldn't read. "I'm sorry, Serena." His voice was gravel. "Last night, I had to. Get out." I flung a pillow. Tears broke free.
Go now.
"I never want to see any of you again." He gave me one long look, then walked into the suite's living room. A moment later, the door clicked shut. I stared at the ceiling, drained, then wiped my face. I couldn't stay here. I dressed, staggered back to the house I still shared with Chase. He lounged in the foyer, cigarette dangling, as if he'd timed my return. Seeing me wrecked, he smiled. "Sleep well, Avery?" Smoke curled from his lips as he raised his phone. The screen flashed a video thumbnail, two bodies tangled in dim light. "You..." I shook so hard my teeth rattled. "Stop the waterworks. You lost control, too." "I'm filthy, you're not pure, call it even." He pocketed the phone. Then, nastier. "I know you dated 3 guys before me. None touched you?" Who'd believe that? His gaze slid over my exposed skin and darkened. "You spiked my drink. I was clean. Everything was platonic, until you destroyed me." He laughed, stepping closer. "Proof, princess? The world will trust this clip. Damaged goods now. Who else would take you?" He waved the phone, victory in his grin. I lunged. He spun me away, arm locking my waist, breath hot on my ear. "Play nice, or the video goes viral. Vance needs Vance." "I'm not wasting 5 years." I froze, drenched in dread. "So the pursuit, just for this." He stroked my hair like a pet. "At first. Later you grew on me. 5 years of love. Nothing but calculation. Tonight, come to my room and apologize. Please me, and maybe I'll delete it." He twisted a strand around his finger. "Or invite Lindsay. She could teach you a few tricks." He studied me like a new toy. I said nothing, eyes fixed on the phone. I would erase it. My nails cut crescents in my palms. The pain kept me quiet. He basked in my silence, even summoned Lindsay. On the sofa where we'd once watched movies, Chase reclined. Lindsay draped herself over him. Chase. She spotted me in the corner, pale and trembling. His hands roamed openly under her silk robe. Relax, Lindsay. No more hiding. Lindsay's gaze flicked to me, taunting. Chase didn't glance over. Serena, fetch the red from the wine fridge, decanted. I moved like a robot. The cabinet stood beside them. His eyes sparkled with vengeance. His fingers vanished under Lindsay's skirt. Lindsay sauntered off to shower. Chase and I were alone. He yanked me into the study, slamming the door. Fake tenderness softened his face. Don't worry, I prefer you. You're still my fiancé. Lindsay's just fun. I gave a broken smile. You like me or the Vance name? He shrugged. Same result. I'll marry you even if you're used. The door crashed open. Lindsay clutched a towel, tears streaming.
Chase.
What am I, your disposable toy? After everything I've done, you heartless bastard, she sobbed, swaying on her feet. Chase practically dropped my hand and lunged to soothe Lindsay. Lindsay, it's not what you think. You matter to me too. Lindsay thrashed and sobbed. He flailed to calm her, finally promising the one bag she'd always wanted. Only then did she quiet. Before leaving, she tossed me a scornful order over her shoulder. Serena, clean this room up. Chase glanced at the pacified Lindsay and said nothing, his silence a green light. I couldn't even bother decoding his hypocrisy anymore. All I knew was forgiveness was impossible. When their footsteps faded, the farce finally ended. I walked back to the living room, wreckage everywhere. My favorite rug was soaked in red wine stains. Heart aching, I knelt to tidy up and found a fresh horror wedged between sofa cushions, a crumpled, gleaming silver foil wrapper already used. Ugh. I bolted to the trash can, gagging. Nothing came up but sour bile and bottomless humiliation. The thought that the home I'd shared with Chase had long since become his love nest with Lindsay, without my knowing, turned my stomach again. Just then my phone vibrated like crazy. Best had spammed me with screenshots and frantic messages. Tabloid headlines shrieked. Explosive. Pure heiress of OLD money clan exposed as two-timer. Insider. Ice Queen socialite secret nympho. Deep dive. Snow White darling's wild hotel tryst with mystery man. The photos showed me sprinting out of the Grand, snapped by who knows who. Even vile fakes, badly photoshopped composites, were spliced in. That body wasn't mine. Thin mosaics did nothing. My identity bled through, more incriminating for the attempt to hide it. Chase, I'd swallowed everything. Yet you still won't spare me? I dialed him, half insane.
Chase.
You planted this smear campaign, didn't you? A beat of silence, then his weary sigh. Serena, how could you suspect me? Lindsay overheard just now. I explained, maybe she let it slip. His tone floated, light as dust. You piece of trash. I screamed into the phone. Watch your mouth. Right now I'm the only man who'll still touch damaged goods like you. His voice iced over, threat bared. Gossip is nothing. The real problem is the blackmail clip in my pocket. Tonight. Lindsay's purr sounded in the background. He chuckled. Tonight I'm with Lindsay. Tomorrow night, come to Vance HQ and wait. The line went dead. I crumpled to the floor, head spinning, body shaking, a reckless resolution crystallizing. Breaking up with Chase isn't enough. I'll make them taste their own poison. You shoved me at Pierce, then dare to say we're even? Fine. Wish granted. I tore open the wardrobe and pulled out a couture gown reserved for galas. In the mirror, my lips curved upward. At 5 p.m. sharp, the Vance building poured employees into the street. I spotted Chase striding out, triumphant, Lindsay glued to his side. A few paces away, Pierce leaned against a black coupe, mood dark, apparently waiting for someone. Chase saw me, smirk widening. See? You still obey. I drew a breath and smiled straight at him. Chase, we're done. His grin froze. Alarm flickered. Ignoring every stare, I walked toward Pierce. Then, while he was still stunned, I rose on my toes and crashed my mouth against his. Gasps erupted. Camera flashes popped. Chase's face drained white, then boiled crimson. When the kiss ended, I hooked my arm through Pierce's and studied Chase's twisted features. I tilted my head, murmured sweetly, "Baby, from now on, I'm yours." With the mask ripped off, a strange calm took over. Chase's texts and calls carpet-bombed my phone. I blocked them unread. Let him leak the tape. Pierce is my boyfriend now. Perfectly legitimate. At worst, I earn a wild label. I asked Pierce to meet me at the corner, the cafe where Chase once staged our fake sweetness, because I no longer care. Returning felt like walking into a freezer carved from hatred. He arrived fast, worry and guilt flickering in his eyes, plus a trace of tension. I swirled my coffee, skipped small talk, tore the scab open. Voice trembling under restraint, I said, "Chase drugged me and gift-wrapped me for you. This was planned, right?" My stare pinned him. "There's a recording, and you're using it to hold me hostage. But Pierce, help me bring him down, and I'll sign over half my majority stake in Vance." His brows knit. He started to speak. Well, if it isn't Avery, dumped by Chase one second, crawling over his best friend the next. Can't survive without a man, huh? A shrill, venomous laugh sliced the air. I'd know that voice charred. Lindsay again, draped over Chase's arm, chin up in triumph. Chase's face darkened. Cold smirk followed. "Serena, when did you start screwing my buddy? I haven't agreed to any breakup. How dare two-time me?" He cheated yet blamed me. Reverse logic perfected. I almost hurled my latte in his face. Lindsay pressed closer, voice syrupy. "Disgusting. The Vance name is ruined thanks to you, right, Chase?" Chase, stoked, yanked out his phone and snarled, "Serena, come back now, and I might forgive you. Otherwise, I'll mass email this little highlight reel to your whole family. Let them enjoy the show." The fuse in my skull burned out. Crack. I whipped my arm across his cheek, knuckles singing. The cafe froze. Even the espresso machine seemed to gasp. He clutched his face, disbelief dissolving into a rabid grin. "Serena? You slapped me? Fine. Get ready to be ruined and booted from Vance." He seized Lindsay's wrist and stormed out. I stood trembling, that slap having drained every ounce of strength. Emotions knotted inside me so tightly I could barely stay upright. Just then, a pair of warm, steady hands caught me. It was Pierce. "Don't be afraid," he said, voice low and certain. "There is no clip of you." I jerked my head up and plunged into his deep eyes. They held absolute sincerity and a trace of relief.
What?
I was sure I'd misheard. The shock eclipsed the fear. Pierce drew a slow breath, as though nerving himself. He turned my hand over, sat me down, and confessed in a gravelly whisper. "That night Chase paid a punk to get into your suite. Deal struck, cash delivered. The second Chase left, I paid double to buy the guy off and throw him out." I stared, stunned. Then the video? Fake. The word rang like steel. I told the punk to grab any random clip online, just to fool Chase. Same body type, that's all. The information detonated in my skull. My mind went blank. "But I did record something. Only it wasn't you," he added, voice turning layered. "It was Chase and Lindsay. I wanted you to see them for what they were, yet I couldn't stand hurting you." Reversal after reversal, so this was the truth. Pierce had been shielding me all along? Then another thought struck. "You tail me that day?" Otherwise, he couldn't have known which hotel. Pierce lowered his gaze, evading mine. With apology and raw humility he began. "I know my methods were dirty. Hate me, curse me, whatever you want, I'll take it, but..." He lifted his eyes. The usual cool distance was gone, replaced by fire. "I've liked you since freshman orientation, long before Chase ever noticed you. I befriended him only because of you. That night, rather than let a stranger destroy you," he said, holding my stare, "I'd rather it be me, because at least..." His Adam's apple bobbed as he forced the last words out. "I would never, ever hurt you." Chase was worse than I'd ever imagined. But Pierce's confession caught me completely off guard. Back in college, I'd been surprised to keep running into him, yet wrote it off as coincidence. Besides, Chase's pursuit had been a blitzkrieg. It hijacked every ounce of my teenage attention. If Pierce liked me, that made him half an ally already. I curved my lips in a slow smile and shook my head. "I don't blame you. Chase is the one at fault. Honestly, Pierce beat a total stranger by miles. My grin widened. You've got footage of Chase and Lindsay, right? Then let's have them taste their own poison. Interested, Pierce lifted a brow. I'm all ears. The business gala arrived on schedule. Every power player in Riverdale would attend. I suspected Chase had chosen the event to force my surrender. Pierce and I stepped onto the crimson carpet dressed to kill, fingers laced, looking every inch the besotted couple. Chase stood nearby, face stormy, nursing a champagne flute that kept swiveling toward us. Lindsay clung to his arm, radiating triumph, her smile syrupy. I floated through the crowd with Pierce, greeting tycoons and their wives, serene as a summer lake. At last Chase cracked. He cut straight toward us. Ignoring Pierce, he curved his mouth in a faux smile and hissed in my ear. Finished playing, Serena? Final offer, come back, or… He casually flicked the video on his phone. You know the fallout. Pierce slid in front of me, shielding me with his body. Chase stared at him, eyes arctic. She's my girlfriend. Pierce tucked me against him, as if it were the most natural thing on earth. Your girlfriend is Miss Shaw. Serena broke up with you and chose me. Chase's knuckles whitened around the crystal stem. Seeing that, Lindsay pressed closer. Chase, ignore them, just the simp and the cast-off. Let's move. Their stench is contagious. She shot me a mocking smirk. Chase's gaze never left Pierce's hand on my shoulder. He shoved Lindsay off, irritable. Lindsay, you don't get to badmouth Serena. She tottered, smile cracking. Biting her lip, she glared at him, then at his phone. The sugary grin reappeared in a heartbeat. Okay, Chase, let's go. Someone's calling you over there. She pushed him into the crowd. He kept glancing back. Even from afar his gaze clung like tar. I prayed the evening would die quietly, but heaven declined. When the gala hit its crescendo, glasses high, laughter louder. The LED wall behind the dais blazed white. The corporate reel vanished. In its place, Chase and Lindsay, limbs tangled, HD close-up. Over the speakers, Lindsay's breathy voice rang crystal clear. Chase, that stick Serena has no clue, MPH. She can't even please a man. Only I know what you need, just dump her. The grand fell into stunned silence. Then came the tidal roar. Whispers, gasps, camera flashes strobing like disco lights. Color drained from Chase's face. He looked electrocuted. The next second he roared. Shut it off. Who did this? His eyes locked on Lindsay, ghost white, clutching his phone. You stole my cell, you bitch. He lunged and tore it from her grasp. This isn't right, it should be Serena's filthy tape with some random guy, she shrieked, backing away. On screen, her moan overlapped her scream. Harder, Chase, yes. That holier-than-thou Serena can't compete with me, can she? Obscene to the point that even Lindsay, the architect, clamped her hands over her ears. Under a hail of scornful, trash-can stares, she bolted from the grand. Murmurs trailed her. So Chase was the cheater? Shameless pair. Pierce and I lingered at the fringe, fingers still interlaced. We watched the farce they'd scripted now devouring them. Chase yanked the power cable, wild-eyed, then spotted my cold smile. He charged, seized my wrist, fury and humiliation blazing. You did this, didn't you? I yelped at the pain. Pierce seized Chase's collar in one brutal fist. What do you think you're doing to Serena? Chase's face twisted into a mask of grief and indignation. Serena, how could you do this to me? Anyone who didn't know better would think I was the one who'd bullied and threatened him. I stepped out from behind Pierce and drew a long breath. Chase, if you hadn't played that clip, none of this would have happened. I paused, then went on. Yes, I rigged the LED wall. The second anyone tried to air a phone video, it would switch to the clip of you and Lindsay. When I finished, I looked at him with pure pity. He'd still push the button, taste their own poison. His complexion turned even uglier, voice frantic, almost pleading. Serena, believe me, I couldn't bear to do it. I only wanted to scare you. I swear I never meant to show it tonight. It was that bitch Lindsay's idea. She seduced me. She uploaded it. Serena, the one I love is still you. Love. I gave a cold laugh. You drugged me, blackmailed me with a sex tape, ran a smear campaign, tried to control me, gaslit me, cheated, and still expected a proper wedding. Every single thing you did was enough to ruin your reputation, yet you call it love. I flung off his wretched hand that clung to me. Your love makes me sick, makes me want to puke. Chase staggered back, refusing to give up. Serena, you said you loved me most, you promised. Chase. Pierce cut in, voice like ice. Have some dignity. Serena is my girlfriend now. Girlfriend? Chase snapped, laughing wildly, jabbing a finger at me. Pierce, guess what? Wanna watch Serena's little video? She's damaged goods who slept with some random guy, and you still treat her like treasure? You, random guy. Pierce let a mocking smile curl his lips. Actually, I should thank you, Chase. If you hadn't hired those thugs, I never would have had the chance to play hero. Chase gaped, fumbling for his phone. At last he saw the footage was fake. Facing his stunned, furious, jealous grimace, I brightened and tucked my arm more tightly through Pierce's. Leaning into him, I cooed in the sugariest voice, "That's right, my Pierce. I let the words hang, is 100 times better than you in body, in character, and in bed. I'm extremely satisfied." The crowd erupted again, this time in understanding. So the young Vance heir hired creeps to hurt his ex, and Pierce swooped in to save her. All those rumors about Vance, turns out they were cooked up by Chase and Lindsay, the simp and the cast-off. Disgusting. He tormented her, then cried wolf? And he dared call her damaged goods? Every eye in the ballroom pinned Chase, fingers pointing, tongues wagging. He stood ashen, staring at Pierce's and my locked hands. After the gala, Lindsay's family exploded. They yanked her off to some distant corner of Europe that same night. Word was she was practically thrown onto the plane. Chase fared no better, abandoned by friends, partners pulling out, his company teetering. Days later, I left a Vance board meeting and spotted a haggard shadow outside the gates. The moment he saw me, he snapped open a velvet ring box. Inside sat the matching bands I'd handcrafted for his birthday, rings I'd hurled into the trash. He'd somehow had them remade. With a thud, he dropped to his knees, drawing stares from everyone nearby. Serena, I was wrong. Lindsay tempted me. I lost control for a second. Please come back to me. He sobbed and flailed, flinging blame at Lindsay thousands of miles away. I ignored him and walked off. This time, he didn't follow. But when I left the office that evening, he was still there, head hanging. I frowned, annoyed. If you're going to kneel, do it somewhere else, not my front door. Suddenly, he looked up and clutched my sleeve, begging. Serena, just 5 minutes alone. After that, I swear I'll vanish. I was about to refuse when I caught my family watching, worried. Fine. Let's end it cleanly. No more humiliation in front of them. I followed him down a quiet street, thumbing Pierce's speed dial as we walked. What is it you want to say? He spun around, eyes wild. Serena, a searing pain cracked across my skull, and the world went black. When I opened my eyes again, I was in a strange hotel room. Chase, a cigarette dangling, smirked. Awake. I struggled. My wrists were bound. Stop fighting. If I can't have your heart, I'll settle for your body. He stubbed the cigarette and started unbuckling his belt, moving toward me. This is rape, Chase. Panic clawed at my throat. His fingers brushed my blouse buttons. I shut my eyes, tears slipping in silence.
Crash.
The door burst open and Pierce stormed in with the detectives. Chase was pinned face down, still glaring at me, unwilling to accept defeat. Filthy slut. One tumble with Pierce and you're his? I should have forced you when I had the chance. A detective ground a knee into his shoulder. Shut it, I smiled. You handed me that opportunity yourself. Pierce leaned close and whispered something in Chase's ear. Chase's face bleached white as they dragged him away. When the dust settled, Pierce and I stood by Riverside, night wind brushing my cheeks. Pierce, I said, turning to him, calm. Thank you, truly. He studied me, relief and a trace of loss in his gaze, but mostly calm respect. But no matter the reason, what happened that night was still an accident. Later I used you to hit back at Chase. I'm grateful, yet it isn't love. He was silent a beat, then answered, candid and unwavering. Understood. My love is yours, but you stay free. Whenever you need me, turn around, I'll be there. A small tremor ran through me. I laughed to lighten the mood.
What did you tell him at the end?
He looked ready to vomit. Pierce's gaze slid away, voice so low I almost missed it. I told him that night was your first time. Stunned, I burst out laughing. Twist the knife, why don't you? He smiled back, eyes curving. I sighed in mock surrender. I'm off relationships for now, but I'll give you special consideration. Perform well, and we'll see. Pierce's eyes lit. He lifted my hand and brushed a kiss across my knuckles. At your command, my queen. Thanks for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, please like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold tales. See you in the next chapter.